what your country can do for you, as what you can do for your country. These are powerful words, words that came from John F. Kennedy, one of the most memorable presidents in the United States history. These words came from the inaugural address speech when John F. Kennedy became President of the United States in 1961. I'm going to talk about his speech and the importance of his speech. To give you a better idea, I'm going to begin give you some history context. What was going on at the moment, important people of interest at the time, events, incidents that will give you a better idea of why this speech was so memorable. The first incident that I want to talk about today is the spy U-2 plane incident. What happened? This was a spy plane from the United States that was doing surveillance over the Soviet Union. So as you can imagine, they didn't like that, right? So nobody knew about this, right? So they finally caught up with it and they shut it down. After this incident, the already struggling relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union became even more tense. At the time, President Eisenhower was in power of the United States, right? So Eisenhower first denied that this was a U.S. plane, but afterwards he had to admit it. Eisenhower once said that this incident was one of the most embarrassing incidents in the United States history. Why? Because first you deny it, and then you have to apologize. The Soviet Union asked for a formal apology, public apology. Well, the United States didn't like that, but for they to continue to have a more or less relationship, they have to comply. After that incident, Fidel Castro gained power over Cuba after the revolution that ended up in 1959. So he became the new ruler of Cuba. Nikita, that was the president of the Soviet Union, gained interest on Fidel Castro. After a while, because at first they didn't know who Fidel Castro was. They didn't know the purpose of Fidel Castro, they didn't know anything. But Fidel Castro started to gain notice after he gained power of Cuba. So after a while, they became allies in 1960. Cuba becomes allied with Soviet Union. It was extremely dangerous for the United States, and it put a lot of pressure on the president at the time and the candidate to be the next United States president. Why? Because as you know, Cuba is only 90 miles apart from the United States. What does that mean? It means that if Cuba will have nuclear missiles in their soil, their attacks could reach almost every part of the America, and that's pretty dangerous. So this put a lot of pressure on the United States. You have a communist island 90 miles apart from your homeland. So this will bring a lot of negativity between the already damaged United States. They were in a recession. Eisenhower had a stroke 5 years before that, so he already was weak at the public opinion. And now the Soviet Union had a new ally. So these times were pretty bad. I'm gonna proceed and talk a little bit of the speech itself. The rhetorical techniques that Kennedy used. One of the techniques is the antithesis. What is an antithesis? It's a statement that two statements that contradict each other that go parallel. This case is for his more famous quote: "As know what your country can do for you, as what you can do for your country." Both came like opposite to make a meaning. He delivered it very very good, putting more emphasis in those two sentences, and the audience replied with a ton of applauses after that, right? So he delivered it very good, excellent work. Another technique that he used was anaphora. That it's repeating the same word at the beginning of a sentence. In this case, let both sides seek to, let both sides unite. That's a way of making your speech more elaborate. Another one is an assonance. It is some vowels that you repeat and put into words. In this case, the steady spread or the deadly weapon. Those two words, the deadly, the steady. You repeat the vowels and it make it sound with more power, with more elegance. The last one that I want to talk about is metaphor. He used a more than 4 techniques. I'm pretty confident that he almost nailed all the techniques that you can think about in one or more time. But my favorite is a metaphor in this case. This metaphor says, "Those who foolish sought power by riding the back of the tiger end up inside." What did Kennedy mean with this metaphor? What he means is that if you play with fire, you're gonna end up burned. In this case, referring to the nuclear threat that the Soviet Unions were at that time. They were a nuclear threat between the two of them, and if somebody utilized nuclear weapons or nuclear threats to earn power, they are gonna end up be killed by their own hand, because in a nuclear world, both sides are gonna lose. So this metaphor had more history behind it, because in the ancient time there was another metaphor that this came from. It was those who ride the tiger are scared of or end up their journey, because they know when they end up their journey, the tiger gonna eat them. So he just changed a little of the words and used it to have a meaning. I'm gonna end my speech by talking about his legacy of this speech. At that time, things were bad. He used organization structure of problem solving. So he first put the problems, then the rising of weapons that can destroy or help humanity, the poverty of countries, all this, right? And then he proposed solutions. He proposed peace, that all countries work together to help each other work for a better world. And at the final and conclusion of his speech, he asked the citizens of not only America but the world to do their parts, because everybody can do something about it to change a little bit and together come to a good result. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So this speech have a lot of legacy because it brought a lot of optimism, courage to the people where the times were really bad. And I'm gonna leave this speech. I'm gonna end up by asking you the same question that he did. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Ask not what other people can do for you. Ask what you can do for other people. And I believe that if everybody have this state of mind, the world will be a better place. Thank you, Hugo Casanova.